It was the beginning. They didn't know sure what the beginning was, but for 40 days now, Acts tells us that Jesus has walked with them, has eaten with them, has spent time with them. And now he's taken up to heaven. What would have been like to be there as he rose up and disappeared into the clouds? It had to be tremendous. In 10 days, something was really going to happen. But before then, well, they had a little housekeeping to take care of. Matthias had to be chosen to replace Judas, who had abandoned them. So now they've got Matthias in there, they've got the 12, and it's the day of Pentecost, the Jewish festival of Pentecost. And it happens. God powerfully pours out his Spirit on the 12. I don't know if they were in a public or if they were in private when this happened, but all of a sudden we see that they're out in public. And they're speaking in all these earthly languages. Everyone heard them, and these were uncommon to happen, and especially out of common men, uneducated, as we're later told in Acts. The people noticed that something was going on, but not necessarily a good thing. 12 languages were being spoken at once. You know, if you picked out maybe one or two you knew, that'd be okay. But 12, it would sound kind of garbled and stuff, especially the ones you didn't understand. And so here's all these languages, and some people are going, are these apostles drunk? That's where Peter stands up, and he clarifies. I want to read from Acts chapter 2. I want to read verses 14 to 16. It says, Then Peter stood up with the 11, raised his voice and addressed the crowd. Fellow Jews and all you who live in Jerusalem, let me explain this to you. Listen carefully to what I say. These men are not drunk, as you suppose. It's only 9 a.m. No, this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. He says, no, this isn't. This is the beginning. A little later, Peter stands up and he talks to the crowd and he says, you need to commit your life to Christ. And 3,000 people have their sins washed away on that one single day. Think about that for a minute. Just think about the logistics of what happened. 9 a.m. in the morning, we're told, is when the speaking starts. So let's say they spoke until 11 and they started baptizing people. Well, at 7 o'clock in Jerusalem, about this time of year, it starts to get dark. So let's say they did this by dark, 8 hours ahead. 3,000 people, that's 375 people an hour. If you figure each apostle, there's 12 of them was doing it, that's 31 per hour. That's every 2 minutes someone is being baptized. Now, I don't know if all 12 apostles did it. I don't know if there was a larger group that did it. But think of 3,000 people committing their lives to Christ, having their sins washed away on that single day. Another way to grasp that is the auditorium that I'm standing in here. That's about twice the capacity of this. That many people coming to Christ, being baptized every hour, all day long. Tremendous, incredible power of God. That's the beginning. That's what you're talking about. Beginning, not the end. The power of God we see displayed. The openness of the people to understand and grasp God's love. The sweet essence of salvation. We, like the apostles, are to be used by God. The beginning of Acts is a beginning. And it doesn't end. It's us today. It continues through us today, each one of us. Let each day be a new beginning, powerfully allowing God to use you for his glory. Boldly step up and serve. Boldly step up and speak. Boldly step up and help people be saved by showing them God's love, God's word. The power of God. See, we're just a conduit. Same as it was at the beginning on that day of Pentecost, almost 2,000 years ago. Let's go be bold.